Hello everyone, welcome to Engineering and Economy. I'm Dr. Nathan. Today we are going to discuss about off-grid system. So in the modern power system, we have two types of systems that are on-grid system and off-grid system. So on-grid system means the our house is connected with the grid. Off-grid system means our house is not connected with the grid. So it means in our house we have a small power system. Power system means we have a power generating resources, which is, if you look at this picture, we have a solar panels. That is a power generating equipment or resources. So we generate power from solar panels, and we have an inverter that is convert this power from AC to DC to AC and supply to the house. And we have a battery bank to save the energy. So this is a small power system. So this power system is not connected with the grid. So that is the major difference between on grid and off grid. So off grid, basically we must have a battery backup. So battery storage. Usually we have a battery storage. So if you look at this here in this diagram, so what is happening that solar panels produce energy. That energy come to a charge controller and goes to the battery and stored in the battery and go to the inverter and supply to the house. Okay, so this inverter is a battery backup inverter. Okay, this is the off-grid inverter. Especially this is the differentiation. Okay, we cannot use the on-grid inverter to this scenario. Here we don't have a grid, so the inverter has to operate based on the battery's energy, because in order to start the inverter to operate, we need some initial energy. That is because we need a voltage reference and the current reference that is provided by the battery. So it is called battery backup inverter, or we call off-grid inverter. So why the question comes that why we need the off-grid system. So for these kind of system usually applicable for remote areas. Let's say we don't have a grid supply to some island or very remote areas. Instead of bringing a large cables and wire to that remote location that may be 1,000 to 2,000 kilometer away from the grid connectivity, it is always advisable to install the off-grid system. So when you install the off-grid system, we can generate our own power. We no need to depend on the grid supply. So that is the reason. Also, in the off-grid system, we can have a generator, diesel generators, backup generators, or we can have a pump hydro power generators, small mini hydro power plants, or we can have a different any number of power plants. If it is a industry or factory, they may have a different kind of energy resources. So basically the idea of off-grid is we generate our own power and we use it. We are not going to sell it to others. Also, we are not going to buy from the grid. So it means it's completely isolated. It's called islanded network in microgrid. If you we will explain that in later videos. Is a islanding feature. Mean like we are fully is a separated from the grid. So that is the beauty of off-grid system. So off-grid system is not connected to the utility grid. So it's a self-sufficient and and storage system operate independently. So we have this is a generation and storage system. It operate independently. There's no grid connection. You don't need to pay any electricity bills to the government or the power producing companies. So it's everything is fully dependent, but only one problem is the initial investment cost is high, because we have to have a large size of batteries. We may have to have a backup diesel generators if the battery size is not sufficient, or if we encounter frequent weather problems or climate problems in the our region, then the solar panels will not produce much energy as we expected. Then in that case we need to have a backup diesel generators. Those are the problems on the off-grid system. But if you concentrate on the advantage of your off-grid system, is fully independent from the grid, And if in case we have a lot of power cut, maybe in Asian countries because of the economic problems, there may be a lot of power interruption in the grid supply. Then some people can go for choose for the off-grid system. Even though we have a grid supply, we don't want to rely on the grid, because the grid is not reliable, because the grid supply is always going off and on because of different issues. In that case, it is better, even though we have the grid supply is accessible, we can say to the electricity company, okay, bye bye, I'm not going to use your grid, I'm going to go independent, I'm going to produce my own energy and I'm going to use it. So this is not a new thing, it's happened in very olden days. When the power system started, actually it was a off-grid system. So every people or group of people, they generate their own power and they use it. Then later only the network comes, the distribution network comes, and it's connecting all the grids, all the places together. So because of PV, this is solar panels are renewable, and because of the renewable energy growth, that's because of the climate change problem, we are supporting for the renewable energy growth. So in this renewable energy growth mindset, people like to go for off-grid system. But only the challenge in the off-grid system is fully in our own on control. So we have to take care about our loads and our demand pattern, our load curve, when we are using more energy, when we are using less energy, whether our battery size is sufficient to keep the charge for next 2 days or 3 days. If in case we have continuous raining, what can happen? All sort of things we had to take care. So if the solar panels are not producing enough energy, how we can manage the situation? That's why sometimes we need to have a backup diesel generator. So those are the things, electricity is stored in the battery bank. We need to charge controller, inverter converts a DC electricity into AC. So those are the things, the basic elements or basic functions of element we use. Basically, we need these four components: solar panels, charge controller, battery bank, inverter, and backup generator is optional. But most off-grid system, they usually have the backup generator, because we cannot 100% predict how the solar radiation changes every day. So we cannot 100% predict what is the solar panels output. So it's highly depend on the climate change. So that's why to make our system more reliable, we need to have a backup generator. So that's a costly choice. So basically, the off-grid system is a good, and in terms of positive mindset, this is making you independent from the grid. So there's no electric bills, you don't need to pay any external money to any other party or any company. So you are fully independent, you are generating your own power and you are using it. Because of your generating in the same place and using in the same place, there's no losses, power losses. Usually, because the power is generated in 100 kilometer away and coming into your house, there are a lot of losses in the line losses, we call line losses. Those losses are eliminated and you are producing power from mostly from the solar panels. That is green energy, so you are protecting the environment. So those are the advantage on the on-grid system. Sorry, on the about the off-grid system. But the problem, the challenge is that we need to have a large size of batteries. We may need to have a diesel generator. Those are the costly. The investment cost is high. So that's all for today. Please, we come to the end of this video. Please subscribe this channel and provide your support. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.